Welcome back to the Munro Musings podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Krystal Kohlberg, and around here we believe that the best strategy for you to optimize your performance is the one built for you. Every week we explore topics that help you work, love, and live in ways that are most aligned for you so that you can perform at your highest without losing yourself in the process. Today we're talking about gratitude, which is the number one factor that came up in my dissertation research on developing optimism. So I find that gratitude is not only a timely topic for this week of Thanksgiving, but it is also a very relevant and important topic for our mental well being. Let's get into it. Today, we're talking about gratitude, which is so exciting to me because in my dissertation, which was on developing optimism, gratitude came up the most. Gratitude, we hear it all the time, and I think we become numb to that. And I just think it's so timely for this week with Thanksgiving. And before you write that off because it sounds almost too easy, I know I am guilty of feeling like things are too simple. When I was learning sports psychology and I was taking on those first couple clients, I had a really hard time because I'm like, it can't be this simple, but it is. Optimizing performance is pretty simple. It's just not easy. And that's where the discrepancy is because you know what gratitude means or you have a concept for it. And you might even feel like, oh, but I'm grateful. But do you have a gratitude practice? Are you actively expressing gratitude? Now, here's the thing gratitude fell into the category of self awareness and intentional action in my dissertation. And if you've been around here listening to me at all, you know that growing your self awareness and taking intentional action are the pillars of everything I do. They are my philosophy. That is how you intentionally grow in the direction you want to go. Awareness helps you notice something, right? That is what it is. You are becoming more aware of something. And intentional action is what you do with that awareness, with that new information that you have just figured out about yourself. And this is where gratitude gets interesting because I think most of us think of gratitude as sort of just like a quick thought and whatever, oh, I'm so grateful for that. Okay, next. Now, what do I have to go back to worrying about or scrambling through? It's a one off thought, and then we go back to the craziness of our lives. There's actually two versions of gratitude. One is that feeling when you just feel the gratitude, which is still good. But there's actually also expressed gratitude, and they are different. The expressed gratitude impacts you more. So you could say that feeling gratitude is an internal sense of appreciation and recognition of having things to be grateful for. There's nothing wrong with that. That is a great first step. It's sort of like the awareness piece. The intentional action piece is when you're expressing that gratitude out into the world. So it's safe to say gratitude plays a huge role in psychological well-being. And if you live on the same planet I do and have any sense of awareness of what's going on, you probably agree with me that we could use a little more psychological well-being right now. And honestly, one of the most impactful assignments I ever gave to a client was to one of my youth athletes. And her assignment was essentially a gratitude practice at the dinner table every night. So we had to have the whole family bought in because she was going to be sharing at family dinner. And she would share three good things that happened that day. So we didn't have to frame it as a gratitude practice, but it was rewiring her brain to intentionally seek out and bring awareness to the positive things that happened in the day, which is basically a gratitude practice. And I got so much positive feedback from this family about this exercise. And so it is an exercise I highly recommend. If you are working on this solo, that's totally fine. I think gratitude journaling is amazing. Having a gratitude practice, whether you write a couple things down in the morning or in the afternoon, maybe you start your day off with gratitude, or maybe you want to end the day by, like this, reflecting on the things that you are grateful for, the positive things that happen throughout your day. If you are in a relationship or you have roommates or you have, Friendsgiving, if you have a family and you all want to practice this, I think the dinner table is a great place to reflect on the day and express gratitude for the positive things that have happened in the day, for the things you can have gratitude for. Even if you had the shittiest day ever, if you can express gratitude for having a place to sleep, for having a roof over your head, for the water, express the gratitude. Just get it out, is what I'm saying. So, whether it's to the water or you're praying over your food, being thankful for the food, or you are expressing gratitude to a loved one, or I'm looking at my fur babies right now, like, I'm so grateful for you. I really am. I just really feel like not only does the research show that gratitude contributes to optimism, enhances psychological well being, I have seen it in my own personal life and with my clients and how much it changes their life. And it's such a simple practice. And I think because it's simple, we avoid it. Like, if something is not hard, it doesn't have value. And we need to rewire that. Gratitude is going to redirect your attention. We so often get stuck in these negative spirals, and I'll have another episode on thinking habits and stuff like that. But we so often focus on the negative, and that's our animal brain. That's meant to keep us alive, but it's not meant to make us thrive. And so we're here for thriving, we're here for optimizing. Gratitude redirects your attention, which shifts your perception, your perspective. It makes you focus on the positive, what you do have, what you're grateful for having. And that shifts your behavior because it's similar in my mind to, are you playing to win or are you playing to not lose, right? Are you avoiding the bad or are you shooting for the good? And I think gratitude brings us back to that positive, good focus. Also, want to mention that personally don't believe gratitude should be used to gaslight ourselves into believing we have stuff we don't. You have something to be grateful for. You are alive. You can be grateful for the air that you breathe. And I've realized that that sounds so ridiculous sometimes, but sometimes that's all we have in the tank for the day. I highly recommend that that's not the only thing you're ever grateful for. But when you have a day that all you can be thankful for is the air you're breathing and the roof over your head, so be it. You can be thankful that you had another day. I don't think we need to be grateful for stuff we don't already have. I don't think lying to yourself is the answer. I also don't think you'll ever believe the lie. I believe you should be expressing gratitude for something you have or something you've experienced. You need to find the way that this works for you, whether that is through journaling or talking to a friend. Maybe you have a friend who wants to do this with you and you can text each other what you're grateful for every evening or something like that. Make it personal to you. Do it in a way that works for you. You know, everything here is about personalization, so doesn't need to be the cookie cutter answer. These are just a few suggestions that you can build your practice off of. But I really do think you should be expressing gratitude for the things that you do have. And I don't think you should be trying to gaslight yourself into believing you have things that you don't. If that works for you, if you want part of your gratitude practice to be, I am grateful for, like, winning the lottery, even though you haven't won the lottery, be my guest. That's just not what I'm suggesting. Because again, in my mind, this gratitude practice is a way of shifting your perspective into finding the good stuff. The Army actually had this phrase called hunt the good stuff, where they were training the soldiers, maybe they still are, I don't know, to find the positive things. You're hunting the good stuff. Find the good stuff. Go find what good happened that day. What good do you have? What can you find? Because we so need to untrain our brain from finding the scary things, the negative things. And the more we're on social media, the more we, see these things that are meant to stir up stuff, right? That is the goal. So you have to proactively shift your own brain, shift your own mind, shift your own perspective, and intentionally take action steps that reprogram that. You're always going to have that animal brain, and your mind is always going to try to keep you safe and alive. And again, that's survival. I want you to thrive. So I think I'm going to keep this episode short and sweet. I want to leave you with this. You can't be grateful for something you're not aware of. So this week, I know it's timely with Thanksgiving, but challenge you to make this a habit. You might need to put it in your calendar, leave your journal out next to you, have an accountability buddy to get started, but make it a habit. Make it a habit to find things to be grateful for every day. It can be the small things, but you can't be grateful for something you are not aware of. So start with the awareness piece. Start finding the things that are positive. Start finding the things to be grateful for. Let that ripple out into the world. Share it with a friend, share it with a loved one. Express that gratitude. Take the action. Write it down, say it out loud. We could all use a little more positivity. People would love to hear that you're grateful for them. And it doesn't have to be all for people. I'm just saying, express the gratitude. Express it to the water. Express it to the meal. Express it to your home. Get it out. Let it live. Let it breathe. Let people know. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving week, whatever you're doing. I hope you find a moment today to express your gratitude for someone or something that has made your life better for a moment, an experience, whatever it is. If you feel so inclined, I would love to hear what you're grateful for. And I am grateful for you being here, listening to this podcast, and supporting my mission of helping people optimize their performance in the most personalized way possible. I am so grateful to be here. I am grateful to be able to share my work with the world. I'm grateful for, even though you can't see them, I have my two fur babies right next to me. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and I will see you next week. Thanks for tuning into Munro Musings. I hope this conversation gave you permission to trust yourself a little more, to choose your nature rather than culture. If you haven't already, I would so appreciate you to subscribe to the show. And if you would like to explore your own human design chart or learn more about working together, please go to my website. And remember, going against the grain isn't just rebellion. It's coming home.